One of those days where I just have to film the town hall against the blue sky. It's just so gorgeous. The artwork on it is just something else. I just can't understand how we went from building this to the rubbish we now build. At this particular time, weren't people living in slums, and then we built stuff like this. Probably they should have focused more actually on the houses people lived in back then and not on civic buildings.
What's your plan?
Well, the blue sky brings these out on a whole new level. Just see how beautiful they are.
And he was like, oh no, Dan's on his way, it's okay.
So we've got the old town hall in on Waingate, rotting to bits, but this far exceeds the old town hall. As you can see, look at the glorious stuff. Now I have got a video from the inside. I probably got this on a video from the outside, but not when it's so perfect like today. Queen Victoria up there. But we can't find any pictures of this being built. Probably the most important building being built in Sheffield. And there's no pictures of it being built. There's no picture of the hole being there before they built it. Now the Victorians weren't the prolific photographers. So that's the front area of the building. I'll just go round to the Peace Gardens side. Now when we had St Paul's in the Peace Gardens, a church which they knocked down, I think it was about 1938, but because the war came along, they never extended the town hall out into the Peace Gardens. Then they built, well, they put the lovely Peace Gardens in, but it's since been replaced by another Peace Gardens. Now I'm looking at the date above that. I'm not sure the date the actual building was built. I'd have to go back. That says 1896. There's a bit of a small extension on the building.
That kind of
But it's hard to determine where that extension was. I just got splashed by the water then. But I preferred the old Peace Gardens to the one that's now there. But you can just see some of the stuff around it. It's so elaborate. Like I said, people were living in slums and then they built something like this. Got beautiful turrets on the top. What's it all for? Seems a bit over the top. You can see down here it goes to a lower level, bit of a lower level, not a lot. Looks like the sun above it, Freemason sign. We'll get down onto the road at the back and film it from up there. So you can see it from there. Like I said, I can't see what the purpose for any of these things are for. They weren't that vain when they built this stuff, were they? I'll go back onto Union Street in a moment, but you can see another one of those. Right in the middle of it up there with a figure on the top. So I'm now on Union Street, and is that a fleur-de-lis on there? It's really for people like Dave Ebony and Miss Abisham, because I don't think we got a video where the sky's as perfect as this. But I think this portion is the extension here. I think it was more an L shape and then they filled it in a little bit. But you can just see some of the I'm too low down. I was trying to show you the coat of arms on it. It would probably be raining for the rest of the year, and I just thought I've got to film it while it's like this. So if it had the extension after 1938 that had gone into the Peace Gardens, I think it would look like the extension you see at Manchester on their town hall. It looks like a German extension or a German building. But I think this is the extension bit somewhere around here. I think somewhere like this, the pre-1938 one. I think there was one in about the 1920s extension. But I think somewhere about here with the extent, sorry, that was the original, and then up to there somewhere was the extension. So I think they filled in part of the L shape on it. It's still a bit of an L shape, but I think it was more of an L shape, and I think the original building probably came to about there, if I'm right. There's so little information on it. I mean, they can't actually prove a lot of the stuff because they can't provide any pictures. This is the thing of building or anything. That looks new to me, that. I thought I could be wrong. So this is Norfolk Street at the moment. Norfolk Street sort of goes to Union Street. Now we're on Surrey Street, coming round to this side. It's not going to be as great on here, but I can get you some of the detail above the windows. Like I said, how do we go from building this to building the absolute rubbish we now build? I mean, I'm going to say, did we actually build this stuff? Because if we can't reproduce it now... Now this has been here, what they claim 100 years, but our buildings now last about 30 years before they fall to bits.
David Attenborough.
Wouldn't we be better off building them this way? Now the funny thing is, they never put the bells in this tower, and the bells you now hear are actually a recorded device that's only been here for about 20 years, and it don't quite sound the same. Seems a bit strange that there was no bells ever put in the tower. Got to question some of the history really. The people built this were either very vain, or it was built for some other purpose other than what we're seeing.
Yeah. What's on that, please?
So we've actually got, let's have a look at it now, just there we've got an empty area. What's missing from there? I don't believe that was a statue, could be wrong, I think it was something else. But it's just like from another world. Question is, did we really build it in the 19th century like they said? Or did we take it over from somebody else who was already here, or another civilization that was here previously? Seen more and more evidence that a lot of the buildings they claim that we built, we didn't build. So that's it, just a perfect view of the town hall today in this absolute beautiful sky.